Okay, so wanted to do a little bit of testing on an idea that I had just to see how good it was. And it ended up turning out way, way better than I thought. This is the ruble count that I got from running stuff. And it's over 1 million rubles an hour. And I can prove it with some spreadsheeted stuff that I've got for you. And I'll show you times and that kind of stuff so that you guys can get an idea of what it is that I'm doing. The thing is, and what I've come to realize is that this is being done in a late wipe format, right? Because everything that's wanted to have been done by, I guess, the majority of the player base, hardcore player base, if you want to call it that, has been done. So everybody's got keys for good loot points. Everybody's got their task keys. And if they don't, those things are all super, super cheap right now. So for people that wanted to do a loot run, the stuff that you're trying to get your hands on that would help you get loot out of like safes faster and that kind of stuff is all a lot easier to obtain. Now, that being said, what it is that I want to show you in this, just keep in the back of your mind that this could easily end up netting you double or triple the amount of money that I'm generating in the course of this video, just simply because of the fact that things will be worth way more money in those wipes because of how the game works, okay? So where we're going is Shoreline, and I'm just gonna run this in an offline mode so that you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm doing and how I'm doing it. We're gonna do some hand-holding. I'm gonna sing some campfire songs. I'm going to interlock fingers, look longingly into your eyes, and show you exactly how it is that I'm getting what I'm getting step by step. Okay, so now that I've milked you, your interests, and the algorithm enough, let me tell you this. For the Timmies that don't like sitting here because they have the attention span of a goldfish, you're going to run jackets. You're going to run jackets in the village of Shoreline. For those of you that want to see exactly the route that I take and how I go about doing it, you can stick around. I'll show it to you. And for the rest of you that would rather not sit here and go through it and want to figure it out on your own, there's the secret, okay? Now, there are a couple of other tricks here that I'll discuss with you in a minute. But for now, let's just stick to the major part of this loot run. Okay, so here we are at the end of the village. The villas are up the hill from us. There's thunder in the distance for some mood setting. I love it. And we have our SJ6 stim. It's important for me, at the very least, if I want to do this and do it quickly, that I bring 1 or even 2 SJ6 stims. And the reason why is because if I spawn across the map, obviously I want to pop a stim to get here as quickly as possible. Thank you, Thunder. That's right. And the second reason is if I'm trying to get the hell out and I have to run across the map, I want to make sure that I can get out as quickly as possible. So if I want to traverse the map and I spawn over here like I just did, I'm going to pop an SJ6 so that I can run all the way up to the rock passage extract. And if that's closed, I'm going to probably pop a second one and run the rest of the way. Now, obviously, your mileage may vary, so if you don't feel like doing that, then the hell with the stims, just do whatever it is that you want to do. We're starting here, and what I'm going to do is from this moment, we're going to start a little timer. And when we start, we're going to time how long this run takes us. So right now, we're at 43 minutes and 2 seconds, and we're going to go. So first things first, we're going to go through this house, and I'm going to include the loot times, all right? We're going to search this jacket, and I don't have max perception, so this is going to take a little bit longer than somebody that's got max. 2 duct tape there. There's our second jacket. We're going to run out, okay? And we're going to run over here. Now, normally this door's closed. We're going to open this door. We're going to loot this jacket here. Doing pretty good on time so far. And then we're going to look for this little T. Make sure we're in the right spot. We're going to go across the street. We're going to run around the back of this little yellow house and into the yellow house for 1 jacket here. And then we're going to go into this little shed. Oh, I should have looted that jacket. Fail, Onepeg, fail. Okay, and then we're going to go over here. Loot these 2 jackets. Now, obviously, I'm going to be like, you know, control clicking everything into my backpack. I'm going to be putting keys and diaries or whatever, if I find them, into a lot of manuals, etc., into a docs case. So you guys want to make sure that you have a docs case and have a sick case or something like that so that you can put keys in it. Okay, then we're going to come through to this side, right? We have this red house here, and we have this little storage shed over here. This shed has a jacket in the back of it right here. And then this red house here also has 1, 2 jackets in it right here. There's 1 and 2. And then we're going to open this. We're going to run straight across over into this yard. And this yard is a unique one. There's only this one house is the only thing that has jackets in it. So we're going to go in here, and there's 4 jackets. 1, 2. Thank you, Thunder. 3 and 4. And that's basically this half of the town. So now we're going to leave out the front gate. Okay? We've finished this side of the town. So we're going to go up here toward the hardware store. Okay? Now, on the way, keep in mind, I'm only doing jackets, right? But there's stashes here. There's a stash over here, right? There's scabs that you can kill on the way inside the town. There's a couple of stashes that we dodge, like the one over by the greenhouse. There's all kinds of stuff, right? So keep that in mind on top of this. Okay, now we're running into this yard. All right, there's 2 jackets right here. Behind this house on the other side of the fence. This red fence here. We're going to go into this next yard over. Don't fall into that donut. You won't get out. See, it's not the house. It's this shed back here. Gonna loot this jacket. That's it for this yard. Then we're going to run back across. Now we're heading north along the wall. The border for the zone is right here. Okay. We're gonna cross the street. We're gonna go into this yard here. There's 1 jacket right out in the open right here. Key I haven't seen yet. Sand 323. And then we're going to run over here. There's 1 jacket on the wall right here. 2 jackets to go. We're going to continue along this wall. Go north into this next yard over. Okay, the easiest way to do this, fastest way to do this is hop the tires. Right over here. Then we're going to go into this yellow house. There's a jacket here on the ladder. And then the last jacket in our 20 jacket circuit is right here. Okay. And that's it. That's the 20 jackets. Now, because we need to get out, we're going to pop our stim. And we're going to leave. And I'll just fast forward, swoop us on up out of here through the recording. Okay? Sweet. Now, personally, I prefer to use a stim and then run up to Rock Passage because it's faster to get out through Rock Passage, and it also avoids the vast majority of combat that you would see kind of in the southern part of the map. Now, when you get to about here, you need to be scanning this rock because Sniper Scav could be standing right here. He usually stands right about here and will look from side to side. There's a key spawn up here on top of the spillway. Now, there's no green smoke, so that isn't open. There's a key spawn right here. And now we'll just run the rest of the way out. Again, trying to stay away from the sides of the resort so that we don't end up getting clapped by PMCs if we're in like a super populated run for whatever reason. And I prefer to run down through the middle of this little valley right here and then out through the customs road. Now, once again, on the way out, you could get this stash here that you basically run right over the top of on the way out. And then there's the extraction. We had 4304, so this has been just about 11 minutes. We started at 4304, so it's going to be just shy of 11 minutes. So that loot run took 11 minutes time, which means that inside of 1 hour, if we ran just those 20 jackets, didn't bother with the villas, didn't bother with extra stashes, which doesn't take hardly any time at all, even if we did do those things, and there's even 1 more jacket spawn that we more or less passed right by on the swamp. If we decided to hit that 1 house in the far south of the swamp, we could do that, which is 24 jackets plus 3 safes if you have the key for the villa house. It's got a lot of potential. And just so that we're clear, I didn't pull anything shifty. Half of the runs that I did live on stream today. So if you want to go check out the VOD, just look at the VOD from the 12th of May of 2021, and you can see that for the entire stream, I just ran around and got jackets. All of them took less than 13 minutes. Some of them took 9 minutes. It just kind of depended on where I spawned, how quickly I got to the village, and how quickly I could get out. In all 25 runs that I did, every single item that I found was found in raid. I didn't die a single time. Not because I'm a god in PvP, but just because the village itself is so little traveled that there was almost zero risk to having been there in the first place. It's very, very, very good, as the recording of this video anyway, to get in, get some decent stuff, and get out. And you'll see that even in the case of most of the loot that I ended up pulling, right now as it sits in the current iteration of the wipe and where we are in the wipe cycle, it actually doesn't even make sense to use the flea market in the majority of the cases because they're at vendor cost already, or damn close. Okay, now this is a super rudimentary spreadsheet, okay? But everywhere here that there is a blank spot means that I just sold it to the vendor and I didn't even bother. So all of the prices that are listed here are for things that I sold off just outright. Without wasting a whole lot of time, you guys can pause this as I kind of scroll down. If you want to see what I got and what was sold, you can see that there was a lot of variety and a lot of value to these items. And I also, if I did sell it on the flea market, I didn't bother going in like guns blazing and try to get what I figured would be, some market-centric priced pseudo high point for the day or any of that stuff. I honestly undercut the market by 10 or 15%, more than that, sometimes 30% in certain cases, just so that I could get the stuff sold as fast as possible because I only have 4 sell slots. But for quest keys, especially things like portable cabin key, trailer key, machinery key, customs factory zone key, dorms 206, all kinds of stuff. 114. I mean, you can see 5 and 6 of them per 500. So like 1% of the time you would get a key that spawned, but you could do 5 raids on Shoreline that I just showed you inside of an hour. And in an hour, based on these statistics, you'd have the vast majority of like the early game keys that you would want to get. But there are things like the Oli log office. Hey, Pest. 2 Oli log office keys inside of the 500. That's like 0.5%. I heard you went 700 or so and didn't get one. Yikes. I'm just kidding, man. But things like the Oli log office key, where I had 2 of them, sold for 70K a pop. East 222 Arsenal storage room key, got 2 of those. And then just, special mention here, like 6-pack Yotoda and car key. One of each of these, which I had 3 trades that I could have made, 3 barter trades, would have net me an extra 9,400 rubles across the 3 153 shotguns that I could have bartered for instead. Just like how down here, there's so many of the energy-saving lamps that I could have gotten like 10 grenades if I wanted to. But you can see here, right? Like in the case of most of the keys, these are all blank. So I didn't even bother trying to sell them on the flea. I just got rid of them. The only one that I really, really tried to sell was the marked key for 177K, and then an arsenal key or whatever, weapons testing key for like 150K or something. Down here, half of the items, again, were just kind of sold off to the vendors and trashed. Wasn't that big of a deal. But if you notice here, there's a ton of nuts and bolts. 17 screw nuts, 20 bolts in the 500 or so runs. That's like a little bit better than, well, it's almost 5%. So if this was 25, it would have been 5%. But it's just slightly worse than that. But that also means that in the course of a single run, you should get like a few handfuls of each of these. So it's worth doing. Toolkits, I got 7 sets of tools. If you need toolkits, really, really good way to grind out stuff that you need for the early game. Total for keys, 2.8 million. Total for barter items and whatever else I pulled was another 2.6 million. So 5.4 million rubles earned in that 5 hours worth of time spent in raid for an earnings per hour of 1 million and change. Now to reiterate, this I may have gotten lucky. And with me having made this video, the likelihood that this is going to become very busy for the foreseeable future, next couple of weeks, is pretty high. As all things are, this will fade in time. And when the new wipe comes out, this could be a very worthwhile way for everybody to make some serious rubles. In addition, as I mentioned while I was doing that run through, there's still the ability to be able to get stashes. You can shoot scavs for their gear. There's more money to be made here. And especially in the case of early wipe, if you're able to get some of this stuff and actually start cashing in on the keys and barter items and whatnot, I mean, stuff like toolkits they were going for 100K a pop. Most of the keys that were listed that I'm selling to vendors were selling between 250 and a million rubles a piece. Make a 200K a run reliably, 5 runs an hour. That is not a big deal to me at all, especially if that means I'm not dying. And if you think about it this way, you're leveling endurance and you're leveling strength if you end up kind of getting overweight on purpose. So it's a good way to level up all those soft skills too. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was short and sweet and to the point. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Peace.